Of the 58 U.S. presidential elections so far, only 4 were contested. In recent years, when most votes were counted on election night, the losing side would give a concession speech. Then it is a done deal. The rest of the process becomes formality. However, that is unlikely the case this time. Record number of votes by mail will delay the count. In a close race, the winner will not be determined until most votes are counted. Plus the legal battles will take time to resolve. So, what's going to happen if there is no clear winner at election night, or days, or even longer after? First, there are some dates on the calendar to note. Starting on the election day, let's see how it would pan out. When we cast the vote, it is actually not directly given to a candidate, but rather it tells your state to give electoral votes to that candidate. In most states, the candidate who gets the highest votes will receive all of its electoral votes. For example, the winner in California takes all 55 electoral votes. And it takes a total of 270 electoral votes to become the president. You can look up the Electoral College online if you want to find out more. Or we can make another video about it in the future. Some people only pay attention to the presidential election, and did not pay much attention to other things on the ballot like your House representative. But in fact the president may end up being chosen by the House. So we should not take it lightly. We will get into the details later. So I would urge everyone that while there are too many things to choose on the ballot, everything impacts our wallet and our future. Please take more time to figure them out. Okay. Let's continue. In recent years, we usually know the outcome hours after polls close. However, it will be an exception this year, with the anticipated high voting rate and record number of mail-in ballots. Plus there are going to be legal challenges. There is no telling when the count will complete. If it drags on, with no one getting the needed 270 electoral votes, the next milestone would be the so-called Safe Harbor Day. That is the deadline for the states to certify and report the outcome. If not final results were reached, the federal law allows the state assembly to appoint its electoral college. In that case, there is a chance that the electoral college submitted may not represent the side that gets the highest vote in that state at the end. If the governor and the assembly are from 2 opposing parties, the state may end up submitting 2 certified slates of electors to the archivist of the U.S. Then comes the day when electoral college meets in each state. They cast their votes for president and vice president. It takes 270 out of the 538 total votes to win. This is only a formality when there is a clear winner. But when there is no clear winner, unexpected things can still happen. When the counts did not come out before deadline, there is a chance the slates of electors may not represent the side with the highest votes at the end. And there may be unfaithful electors. The electors are not required by Constitution or federal laws to vote for the winner of the popular vote. However, 33 states require so. And it was upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court. Past records show that more than 99% were faithful. Experts point out that it would require both a very close election result and an unlikely degree of coordination among electors to sway the outcome. Still, that is not impossible, especially in this election full of surprises. Electoral votes must be received by the President of the Senate and the Archivist no later than December 23, 2020. The new Congress assembles on January 3, 2021. Congress meets in joint session to count the electoral votes on January 6, 2021. If objections are presented, the House and Senate withdraw to their respective chambers to consider the merits. Even with some remaining incomplete or disputed results. If they don't prevent a candidate from reaching 270 votes, then Congress can still pick a president. If no presidential candidate wins at least 270 electoral votes, under the 12th Amendment to the Constitution, the House decides the presidential election. The vote would be taken by state, with each state having 1 vote. This is why I mentioned earlier that your vote for House representative matters. if no vice presidential candidate wins at least 270 electoral votes. Under the 12th Amendment, the Senate elects the vice president. Each senator would have one vote. When that happens, isn't it possible that we end up having a president and a vice president from opposing parties? Also, if the Senate voted 50-50, would the vice president cast the tie-breaking vote to elect himself? Under the Constitution, the 4-year terms for president and vice president end on January 20. The president-elect and vice president-elect take the oath that day. While unlikely, if Congress is unable to choose the winners by then, the Presidential Succession Act kicks in. First in line to serve as acting president is the House Speaker, followed by the President pro tempore of the Senate, followed by Secretary of State and the members of the Cabinet. But they might be reluctant to accept the role, because they would be required to resign from Congress to serve as acting president for a short term. Presidential succession is another interesting topic that we can explore in the future. This is an important election that the entire nation and the whole world is watching closely. Through it we see how the institution and politics work in the US. Will the vote and the count go smoothly? How long will it take before there is a clear winner? Will the process go peacefully and smoothly? It remains for us to see.